Tanse, Kiawao, Nathan Grandjambe, Nitsigasom, Negawi, Nehiawia, Notawi, Irishwia, Mikasu, Krinia, Canadian Egua, Nehiao, Otsi, Treaty Ainaneo, Askiotsi, Anots, Kaisi, Wapamtin, Manaka, Uyasoya, Notsi, Mosquio, Maskiak, Kakiao, Kaisi, Kizagak, Egua, Opagawinak. So hello everyone. I hope you're all doing well. My name is Nathan Grandjambe. My mother comes from the Nehiao peoples, and my father comes from Irish background. I am a member of the Mikisew Cree First Nation, and I'm also Canadian, and I'm a Cree person coming from Treaty 8. I was originally born and raised in Fort McMurray as well as Fort Chipewyan, Alberta, and I'm very grateful to be here on the lands of the Musqueam peoples today presenting. And currently I'm casting to us all from the traditional unceded territories of the Semiahmoo and Katzie peoples. So I'm just very glad to be here and glad to present a little bit about what I know of the Indigenous entrepreneurial spirit and some interesting pivots that we've had to make in how we do business over the past few centuries. So I'll extend a warm invitation to all of you to embark on a quick journey with me, a journey that's going to weave through the tapestry of time and traverse the diverse terrains of Turtle Island, which is what many of us, at least Algonquin language-speaking nations, call the continent of North America. And we're going to be narrating a bit of a story of resilience, adaptability, and the absolute unyielding spirit of Indigenous entrepreneurship. Long before the sails of the colonizers appeared on the horizon of Turtle Island, what many indigenous cultures, as I referred to, call North America, flourishing economies and intricate trade networks were already deeply rooted in this land. Whether it was from the warm currents of the Gulf of Mexico or up to the frigid expanse of what we now call Manitoba, whether it was throughout the majestic Rocky Mountains or outright across out east to the Atlantic shores, there were tremendous trade routes that were connecting these distant lands. Exchanges of goods like mother of pearl from the south, copper from Lake Superior were commonplace, which was evidence of a very sophisticated economic system that was there long before the arrival of Europeans. For a more local example, we can look to Oolakins, which were traded quite a bit, very extensively across the Rocky Mountains. However, the winds of colonization brought a fair bit of transformation and a number of imbalances. The fur trade era, for example, saw our ancestors, who were predominantly hunters, trappers, and guides, become the unseen pillars of a lucrative industry. Their fruits of their labor, however, were reaped by others, the settlers, predominantly the Hudson Bay Company, and of course the many merchants in Europe. It was not enough to simply get the fur and to get that quick exchange of currency for the product itself. A lot of the wealth was actually generated across the ocean. Things could get invested in. There was a tremendous amount of equity involved within these processes. So our ancestors really found ourselves relegated to the role of laborers in their own territories. There was not really much agency that could be done, but still, our peoples found ways to be entrepreneurial. There was a number of opportunities that my people, the Plains Cree, were able to benefit from as a result of this time period, as evidenced by our own westward crawl alongside the boom of the fur trade. Fort Chipewyan itself, where I'm from, was the first European settlement in what is now known as Alberta, and it was the hub of many fur trade relations along that way, as three river systems came to Lake Athabasca. Continuing on, the shadow of colonialism cast Indigenous economic ingenuity into obscurity. It wasn't about how good you were on the land. It was about generating these fictions of finance that could increase wealth through a capital system. And so colonial institutions further marginalized our communities, constraining their economic participation in entrepreneurial endeavors. We were largely trapped on our reservations. I say our, but they are fully owned by the federal government. um, through a lot of legislation and quite a bit of oppression. And that vibrant trade network, that entrepreneurial flame of our ancestors, was dimmed. And these oppressive structures and the narratives of colonialism began to take root. People began to see us through the lens that that was what it was. That was our inherent way of being in these roles. But our spirit's indefatigable. The oil sands boom in the 1900s started to mark a bit of a turning point. And for many of us, it was a beacon of opportunity for our communities and for our entrepreneurs. We were allowed off the reserve. We didn't need passes anymore. All of a sudden, we could actually go out and participate in the economy in a more meaningful way. And we seized many of these opportunities with absolute gusto. Um, Among many who rose to this call, one from my own community was David Tuckerow from the Mikisew Cree First Nation. He endured quite a few challenges, as we all did and do. And as a heavy equipment operator, he managed to save enough money to buy 3 taxi licenses in Fort McMurray and then turn that into another business opportunity and start to grow and grow and grow to the point where eventually he was negotiating deals, massive deal, like multi-million-dollar deals in the oil and sands industry. My own peoples, the Mikisew Cree, we have a group of companies that largely operates within a diversified set of businesses in relation to the oil sands, whether it's servicing and the like, and it has been an absolute boom. But to double back to David Tuckerow, reason why I bring him up in particular is because he's such an amazing symbol of perseverance and excellence in entrepreneurship. Before he sold his companies, I think at that time his net worth was something around $135 million. And that's not even like the full account. That's just some stuff that he was willing to talk about in an interview. So this journey from pre-colonial flourishing to deprivation to modern day entrepreneurial successes is a testament to our adaptability, our resilience, and our enduring connection to the land and its resources. Um, we have spent, as Indigenous peoples, uncounted millennia since time immemorial, learning the relationships that make this land flourish the way it has. The sustainable balances, the opportunities to be able to make the most of what is on this rich land around us. And as we stand on this threshold of a much brighter future than just a single generation back, I believe it calls upon us to draw strength from our rich heritage, that resilience demonstrated by our ancestors, and from that innovative spirit that has been our companion throughout the ages. I feel that all of us within Canada, as we continue to embrace these values of adaptability, innovation, and resilience that have been the compass guiding our journey across Turtle Island, we're only going to find value from that. And so our history is not, merely a reflection of our past. It's not merely a reflection of a low, but it's a beacon lighting our way to a much brighter future. It's a reminder that after the darkest night, a new dawn can await. And so as we step into this new dawn, let's walk together towards a future where we shift those colonial paradigms, those colonial narratives about where we are as peoples, about what we can accomplish together, and see about working together to ensure that every individual opportunity for entrepreneurship is nurtured and where innovation and prosperity are our shared companions. Our journey, marked by unparalleled resilience and adaptability despite the very unique challenges that have been posed by Canadian colonialism, showcase why Indigenous peoples make invaluable partners and allies. We bring to the table not just economic opportunities, but a wealth of wisdom, this deep connection to the land and its relations, and a commitment to sustainable and equitable growth. I know among many of us, I'm very excited for that. And I thank you for the time today to share a bit of this with you. Hi, hi.